The new rules that came into force this year included some additional criteria on what's defined as a congested area. And for the first time, they actually included recreational areas, including beaches, as one of these congested areas where you're not allowed to fly. Does that mean you can't fly on any beach? Not at all, thankfully. And so with a bit of clarification from the CAA, that's what I'm talking about today. Hello, Ian here with a very quick video today because I just wanted to clear up a little bit of confusion that's still lingering about whether or not you can fly on beaches and what the actual definition is of a congested area. So just to recap, the new rules that came in for the new year basically stated that if you're flying a drone larger than 250 grams, then you've got to fly at least 150 meters away from any congested area, being residential, commercial, industrial or recreational. Now, it was this last element of recreational that actually brought in a new little sting in the tail, if you like, because on the drone registration website, they actually gave examples of parks and beaches as being examples of a recreational area. And I thought this surely cannot mean that you've now got a blanket ban on flying at any beach, even early in the morning. So my interpretation of these rules was very much focused on crowds and whether or not you had a crowd of people who would otherwise not be able to escape a drone falling out of the sky. And if there were no crowds, then it wasn't really going to be a congested area. But self-interpretation isn't necessarily the way to fly. So I emailed the CAA and I actually got the response yesterday that I was hoping for. And you can see here they make it clear that the beaches and parks is just an example of where a congested area may be, and specifically that it is all about crowds and the expectation of crowds being in the area that you're flying. Now they go on to define how a crowd is a group of people that may not be able to move out of the way of a drone that was out of control. That's already been defined elsewhere and that wasn't really up for debate. So what I'm really pleased about is the fact that they're though using that definition of a crowd in helping to determine whether or not an area you're wanting to fly in is a congested area. Because for the first time we now have clear guidance that it's not just the area, it's the presence or absence of crowds that's helping to define whether or not that is a congested area that you'd stay away from. Now they did go on to mention the overarching principle that no person can recklessly or negligently cause or permit an aircraft to endanger any person or property. Now that is such a basic rule that applies to all flights. So yes, obviously you need to take that into consideration. But for me, having this clear guidance now on is there likely to be large crowds? No. Then you're probably going to be good to fly in the absence of any other air restrictions or bylaws on the ground stopping you from taking off. But it means, for instance, most beaches are Crown Estate. They don't have bylaws prohibiting you from flying. And it means that if it's a quiet beach, you're going to be good to fly, as long as you can maintain that 50-meter horizontal separation. I should point out, rules are actually very different if you're flying under permission that you've got from a flying club like the BMFA or FPV UK. And I'm actually going to do another video on that. I'm in the middle of doing that video and I'll hopefully get that out later on in the week. But for now, hopefully that's cleared up any confusion that you may have had. Yes, beaches and parks are an example of a recreational area, but it does not mean that they are always a recreational area and that you always have to avoid flying in them. If it's quiet and there aren't any rules prohibiting you from taking off in the first place, then you're probably going to be good to fly. Anyway, look, like I said, very quick video today just to clear up that bit of confusion. Hopefully this is good news for those of you who are flying in quieter parks and beaches. You're going to be able to carry on doing that now and using your own good judgment. Basically, crowds are the determining factor whether or not you should fly or not. Like I said, I am working on a new little video for Article 16 versus A2 CofC versus just straightforward EASA rules. Hopefully I'll get that out in the next few days. Either way, look, until next time, carry on staying safe and sane, have fun, happy flying.